Ahoy, hoy, everyone. Welcome to another festive episode of the O Show. I'm O, and I'm here for your amusement. Okay, so I have a really, really good movie to talk about today. Today, we're going to talk about Krampus. Ooh, it's Krampus. Yes, you guys. Okay, so Krampus is a movie from 2015. And it's actually written and directed by the same guy who did the movie Trick or Treat. If you ever see my review on Trick or Treat, give it a view. But yes, it's I think his name was Michael Dougherty, if I'm not mistaken. Right? And what's so funny is, okay, so this movie came out in 2015. And I don't remember it being advertised in the theater. So I want to say it was probably about it was a couple years later, or I don't know which movie came out first, but there's another movie called A Christmas Horror Story. If I'm not mistaken, that's the right title. Whenever that movie came out is when I saw Krampus, because I was looking for something new to watch, and I was like, let me see what Christmas is offering me this year, whatever year that was, and that's how I found Krampus, especially when I saw that Toni Collette was in it, because I love me some Toni Collette. Like, she needs every award that is available to be given to her. I love that lady so much. And there's a whole mess of other people in this movie too. So we have Toni Collette. She is playing the mom in this movie. Her name is Sarah Engel. The dad is played by Adam Scott. His character's name is Tom Engel in the movie. And they have a son that's played by MJ Anthony, and his name is Max in the movie. There's also a sister, I can't think of her real name, but she's there. There's a sister too, you guys. So let's talk about Krampus. Alright, so when Krampus starts, we see what looks like a store opening for Black Friday, right? The employees open this door, and there's just this rush of psycho people coming through, trampling everyone, pushing and shoving. And what's so weird is I've actually seen this. Okay, I'm pretty sure most of you watching this video right now have probably seen the chaos that happens on a Black Friday. Now I don't know about today, 2024, but back in 2005, I think, when I started doing my first Black Fridays in the suburbs of Chicago. People are fucking nuts. I have seen bloodshed. I have seen, I don't remember if it was Walmart or Best Buy. It was either a TV or a computer. I don't remember. But they were literally throwing these things into the crowd. Whoever caught it is yours. And I've seen someone caught stuff and snatch it down. And when they snatched it down, they hit this lady in the head with the corner of the box, and there was blood, and it was just chaos. That is what's happening in this movie here. But at the same time, we also see that somewhere in this store, which is really weird, but it's this off room somewhere, I don't know. But there's this play that's happening with these kids, but instead of the play being all nice and merry, there are these two boys fighting. So our star of the movie, Max, he's the boy on the bottom, getting his ass whooped. And then we see these two parents running to go stop the fight and get their son. So that's Adam Scott and Toni Collette right there. But what's so weird about this is, okay, you assume this is a Black Friday. But they come home after the chaos, and we right away are 3 days into Christmas. So I'm just wondering, is that supposed to be a Black Friday? Because it's not. Because they come home and they're still talking about it. And the grandmother, Ami, oh, I forgot how to pronounce her name. I think it's Omi. But she's in the kitchen making Christmas cookies. So I assume this is still Christmas, because who's doing a Christmas play on Black Friday, the day after Thanksgiving? So that the beginning is just always kind of weird to me. So after all that, we start to get kind of into a National Lampoon's Christmas Vacation vibe, because Toni Collette's character, her sister, who is played by Allison Tolman, her name is Linda Jackson. She comes to the family's house, and she has her husband and his name is Howard, and he is played by David Koechner. Koechner? It's Koechner, right? I always mess up this man's name. I never say it right when I want to say it. And so they come with their 3 kids. There's a boy named Howie Jr., and there are these 2, like, butch daughters named Stevie and Jordan. Oh my God. And so Linda, right, pulls some bullshit. She goes, so surprise, look who's here. And in walks Aunt Dorothy, played by the late, great Conchata Farrell. Oh, rest in peace. I love that lady. She's so funny. So she's that aunt that no one wants to be around. So she's there to give us some comic relief through this movie.
Oh, Aunt Dorothy, it's so great to see you.
Yeah, well, your sister's no Mother Teresa, but at least she swings by every once in a while to make sure that I'm not dead.
So remember, you guys, like, we're like 3 days before Christmas, right? There's like this advent calendar happening, and we're on day like 23. But the first dinner that the mom makes looks like a damn like Christmas feast. There's so much food, and then like for dessert she's making like creme brulee and stuff. Like, who does that like on not Christmas Day? That's what you should be making, like either Christmas Eve or like Christmas Day after you open your presents. But you know, whatever. So they're all at dinner, and it's just madness happening. If not the mom and the aunt fighting and bickering because the aunt just thinks she's like all that in a bag of chips. Max's 2 girl nieces, one of them steals a letter from him that he has written to Santa because Max still believes in Santa Claus. And over the years, Christmas has just become like really dysfunctional. So he really just kind of wants Christmas to go back to how it used to be. I'm assuming maybe like a couple years ago. I mean, Max is only like 10 or something. Like, I love it. So I don't know how crazy these Christmases have been lately. But he's like, I just want Christmas just to go back to how it used to be. Okay, fair enough. But his one cousin stole his letter to Santa and decides to just read it out loud in front of everyone. And not one adult is like, okay, which girl was it? I don't remember if it was Stevie or Jordan. But no one's saying like, cut the shit and give him back the letter. Like, what is your problem? So anyway, she reads it and he's just poured his heart out. And he talks about how his mom and dad are not happy and his aunt and uncle suck. But then, like, his uncle wishes that the 2 girls were boys. So then they get into a fight and they're scuffling. You even hear like some glass break, but there's never any glass on the floor. It's really weird.
Max? Hey!
Anyway, Max is pissed off and he goes running to his room crying. And after his dad tries to like calm him down, that didn't work. So Max is like, fuck this family. But he rips his picture or his letter up and he goes to the window and he tosses it and it flies into the sky. And he thinks that enough of that, but he is very mistaken. So later that night, a blizzard comes in and knocks the power out in the whole neighborhood, right? And then after that, there is this DHL delivery man who comes to deliver some packages. But then they notice there's like this sack of packages sitting outside the door. And they're like, did you bring that too? He's like, I ain't bring that. So they're like, okay, whatever. So they bring it inside. Now, where did that sack come from? So then, in the middle of a blizzard, the daughter, Beth, is like, hey, I'm trying to get in contact with my boyfriend. He lives down the street. Can I go and see him? Like, bitch, no. Don't you see it at the big storm outside? She said, well, he's not answering the phone. Okay. I'm going to wait your ass here. But they let her go. They're like, okay, we'll just go for like an hour. Okay, go straight there and back. Okay, so just go out and die in the snow. Like, whatever. So she does. And then it's funny because at one point, the parents were talking. They're like, well, Beth, she'll be back soon. You know, it's fine. And like the editing is weird because not even like a minute later or something, like the sun comes around the corner and goes, Beth's not home yet. It's getting late. And they're like, oh my God, like we gotta go get Beth. I thought I was fine. Ooh, but y'all, the reason that Beth is not back is because when she was out in that snow, she sees like everything is like deserted. There's no cars, there's no nothing, there's no people. She gets to her boyfriend's house and looks on top of the roof, and there is this dude on top of the roof with some horns and starts to like chase her. No, but he's chasing her like on the roofs. So as he's freaking her the fuck out, she starts to run and he's running too, and he's running across rooftops. He's hopping across the street, and she's freaking out. She sees the truck that the delivery man was in. It goes under it, but then when the horned figure plops onto the ground, you can see that he has some hooves for feet. So yeah, she thinks she's safe in a good hiding spot, but this fool puts a present under the truck. It ends up being a Jack in the Box. Now, hold that thought with the Jack in the Box. I don't know what the hell kind of Jack in the Box this was. It was under a truck, but let's just say Beth didn't make it. So time is going on, and then Tom was like, okay, you know what? Like, I need to go out into the storm and find Beth. And since the weather was just so crappy, he was like, Howard, come with me. Let's get into your Hummer, because this dude drives a Hummer. I think, were Hummers still popular in 2015? Remember when everyone had a Hummer? And then after, like, it was expensive to own a Hummer, people are like, why did I buy a fucking Hummer? Okay, anyway, so they get into this Hummer, and they go, and they're, like, fighting through the snow. They get to the boyfriend's house. They go in, and it is just, like, it's going there. A crime has happened. There's shit everywhere all over the floor. Someone stabbed the gingerbread man against the wall. There's like it was an explosion in the fireplace. So obviously Beth ain't nowhere to be found. So they're going back to the house, but then fucking like there's like tremors under the ground. There's something under the ground in the snow. We never see what it is, but you see that it's just kind of moving around like Bugs Bunny on his way to where he was going, where he should have made a left at Albuquerque.
I knew I should have taken that left turn at Albuquerque.
And they're shooting because Howard just has all these guns in his damn Hummer. So they eventually make it back to the house, and they gotta like board up the windows and board up the doors because there's shit happening outside. They don't know what the hell's happening. Alright, so this is when the movie gets good, you guys. And nuts. Everyone's sleeping. There's no electricity. It's freezing. Why is it freezing? Well, because Omi told everyone to do one thing. Keep the fire hot. Because shit's happening and she's looking and she's like, I think I know what's happening. But her ass is keeping secrets and don't say nothing. So everyone's sleeping, including Omi. So it's her fault too. Because you could have got up and made sure that fire was still roaring. But they didn't. The fire goes out. And then shit's happening in the chimney. So we see this hook come down with a gingerbread man on it, right? So Howie Jr., I guess his role is to be the fat kid who who doesn't talk and burps and eats. So of course, he's the only one who wakes up to see this gingerbread man like hanging out the window or the down the chimney. So what does his ass do? Walks over there, picks it up, and takes a bite out of it. Like, why are you eating chimney cookies? So all of a sudden, the gingerbread comes to life and is pissed off. And he's like, "Oh no, you didn't!" And like fucking starts dragging Howie up the chimney. So the family wakes up and sees this mess. So everyone's trying to go over to the fireplace and pull his ass down. But they're fighting a losing battle. So a piece of firewood kind of comes out of the chimney area that's still kind of hot. But it rolls over to the tree, and then the tree just goes up in flames. And then Max puts it out with his little ass extinguisher. How you put this fire out with that little ass thing in the kitchen? So that's what he does. But yeah, they lost Howie up the chimney, and people are like, what the fuck? So now here comes Omi, right? Now Omi, I think it's German that she's speaking. So throughout this movie, and you know what, I'm not going to judge because I have actually seen this in real life. There are people who, like, you can talk to them in English, they understand what you're saying, but then when they talk back, they're talking in like another language, right? I've seen that happen, and I was like, I call shenanigans, but I don't want to be disrespectful, but but that's what's happening. Every time someone talks to Omi, she knows exactly what you're saying, but then when she responds, she only talked in, like, I want to say it's German. Let me know if I'm saying the wrong language. But she goes, I think I know what's happening in English. Even Aunt Dorothy's like,
No, Mom, what are you talking about?
Please, listen.
English. I knew it.
so Omi is like, okay, you know what? Back in my day, when I was a little girl, the people in my town sucked ass. Okay, they were rude. They were just horrible. And so they were giving out like free bread, and then people stole her bread, and they're just assholes. And so she just lost the spirit of Christmas, right? And so she went home, and even her parents were assholes. And she's like, fuck these people. Like, I wish they would just go away. But apparently, Krampus heard her and came to visit her at home, and just pretty much just like, he was like, oh, okay, I'm going to take your people away. But left her, because he was like, well, I'm going to need you to learn your lesson. Oh, here's a parting gift. It's an ornament with my name on it so that you know exactly who's here.
Dies.
So you guys, it was like bullshit. What the hell kind of story is this? But little do they know. So remember that little sack of presents that was pulled into the house earlier? Well, that mess was like in the house upstairs, and well, that stuff was like in another room. I believe it was on the second floor. And so what happened is, whatever was in those packages are now out of the packages. So first off, Stevie and Jordan are like, they have to go upstairs to the bathroom because Aunt Dorothy like tore up and clogged the toilet on the first floor. So there's always that one relative. And so they're on the second floor, I had to go to the bathroom. But then they hear like voices coming from the attic. And the voices are all like, ooh, Stevie and Jordan. And they're like, Beth, is that you? And the voice is like, yeah, it's me. Now, you know that girl left like hours ago to go to her boyfriend's house. And they're like, what are you doing in the attic? And they just went up to the attic like assholes. So like, so there's a Jack in the Box, you guys. When you look at this thing is eating one of the girls, right? So the parents go upstairs because they're like, oh, we heard some noises, and we went up there, and one of the girls was screaming. So they get up there, they're looking, and they see this shit. I would be like, well, I had a daughter. Like, what are you supposed to do with that? Okay, not only is this shit happening, we got like a stuffed teddy bear that's attacking. We got this like Christmas angel topper that's attacking. We got this robot that's attacking. And I can't help but to think, have you ever seen the movie Demonic Toys, you guys? Demonic Toys is this crazy ass movie from like, oh gosh, it's like late 80s, early 90s. I forget what year. I have it behind me. We're gonna talk about that movie one day. Like, we have to. It's so crazy. But anyway, the point is, the main toys in that movie is a Jack in the Box, a bear, a doll, and a robot. So I was like, I guess you're gonna make a Christmas horror movie. Like, what toys can I have come to life and eat these people? I guess a Jack in the Box, a bear, a doll, and a robot. I guess it sums up everything. I don't know. But anyway, they're fighting that. Then you got Howard, who's in the kitchen. He's still handicapped because of his leg. But he gets attacked by 3 gingerbread men. And these three gingerbread men are sitting there shooting nail guns at well, shooting nails at him with a nail gun. He's trying to fight back. The dog, which I never mentioned before, now I think about it. So Howard and then brought this dog, Rosie. And so anyway, he's like, Rosie, get the sick him. This dog ain't doing shit until the end. But yeah, he's fighting gingerbread men. So of course they're all like, okay, well I guess this story that Omi told us, I guess isn't really all that bullshit. But this is like the really, really fun part of the movie. After everything that's happening, everyone ends up back on the first floor. They send the dog through the vent to, which I don't understand how this dog would have got to the second floor through a vent. Like, don't vents go like up and down? I don't know the science of this house. But anyway, he's fighting with the Jack in the Box, but apparently the Jack in the Box won and comes crashing down through the ceiling. So, but then, what comes through the windows? Fucking elves. Demonic elves. So these elves come in, hook up the Jack in the Box so that can come out of the house. They hook up Aunt Dorothy and drag her out of the house. And I also failed to talk about a baby. There's this baby named Chrissy. Like, I didn't mention the baby because the baby does nothing. I don't know why there's a baby in this story. But Linda does have a fourth child. This is a baby, but who cares? But anyway, the baby's gone. So there. Baby does nothing in this movie. So, anyway, oh my gosh, you guys, like, just watch the movie. I know I'm like, this is a spoiler review, but you gotta just watch it. Like, it is insane. It is so much happening. It's crazy. They do all end up kind of, whoever's left, end up leaving the house. And then Omi has a showdown with Krampus because once everyone gets out of the house, she's like, no, I'm staying. And locks the door. And Krampus comes down the chimney. And they have a little one-on-one. But then, you know, nothing happens. She's just ambushed by the toys and little demons in Krampus's sack. I should have had you guys take a shot every time I said the word sack in this review. Sack! So they go outside, and the trimmer things under the snow are like eating people one by one by one. Anyway, Max is the only one left in the end. Okay, the whole family's dead. So Max is the only one there, and he comes face to face with Krampus too. And he's like, Krampus, goddammit, I'm sorry, that was my bad. I know I wrote that letter, but I take it all back. Okay, I'm just kidding. And Krampus is like, oh, okay. Psych! And then Max goes to hell. like literally. He falls into the flames of hell.
I'm sorry. I just wanted Christmas to be like it used to be.
So in the next scene, we see Max waking up and falls out of his bed. And he's looking around like, what the fuck? So now he thinks it's a bad dream, right? So he goes downstairs. The whole family's there. And everyone's like, oh, hey, kiddo. Oh, my God, it's Christmas. You know shit's wrong when, like, Uncle Howard is like, hey, kiddo, thought the sugar plum fairies got you. Shut up. This is a trick. So, yeah, he goes down and, you know, it's just a Merry Christmas. And everyone's opening presents until Max opens a box. And guess what's inside? A little ornament that says Krampus. Here's the thing, you guys. So the movie ends with, like, they're in the snow globe. And I guess Krampus, like, keeps his victims in snow globes. So I guess it's one of those endings where you have to kind of think, like, what's happening now? Because is the house in a snow globe? Like, can they leave the house? Are they stuck, like, on a loop? Is it going to be like Groundhog's Day, where, like, every day when they wake up, it's just Christmas again and they're all happy? No, but seriously, like if you open the front door, is like water gonna gush in? Like they're in a snow globe, in underwater. There's water in the snow globe. Unless it's just a stupid magical snow globe with just snow, and maybe I'm just like I'm missing the point that there is no. Okay, take out. Forget I said anything about water. What happens if you open the door? Is it like the Simpsons, like when they put that dome over Springfield in the Simpsons movie? Like, can they walk so far and then be like, oh man, what's this? Oh no, we're in a snow globe. I don't know. And Krampus has a whole collection, so you know he's been doing this for eons. So yeah. Have you seen Krampus? If you've seen Krampus, what's your take on the ending? Like, what do you think? Are they just... or is the real hell that they just have to live with each other for eternity? I'm curious. I mean, I still love it, but either way, you know, that's how my brain works. Because now I have questions. Also, speaking of questions... Why is it that every time someone in this movie is looking out the window with binoculars, they never move the curtains? like they're always like, you know, just looking out the window, just seeing if I can see if any help is coming. But like, no one ever like pulled the curtain back to, you know, that's how binoculars work. I'm just saying. Oop. My bad, I'm sorry.
That's my boy.
Alright, you guys, let me know your thoughts of Krampus. Like, I love the movie. I make it a point to watch it every year. I just watched it. Hence my video. So, yes, Krampus. Toni Collette is still awesome. I love her. Oh, where is she? Oh, shoot. There she is, right here. Alright, you guys, let me know what you think. If I had to rate Krampus, I'm gonna give it 4. It's a fun movie. You know, it has its moments here and there. Like, you know, again, anyway, no, I'm not gonna run it for myself. It's a really good movie. Go watch it. It's streaming on something right now. I want to say it's Max. If you have Max, I think it's streaming there. Alright, so cheers! Alright, you guys, so please like this video, subscribe to the channel if you haven't already, and I will see you all in the next festive episode. So until then, TTFN.